Welcome back once again to this channel. Senecan tragedy. Yes, this is the topic which we are going to discuss today, and it will take merely about few minutes. So stay tuned with this video, and if possible, subscribe the channel and share this channel with your friends. Senecan tragedy. If we analyze the term, we can feel that probably the tragedies which were written someone who is none but Seneca. For example, Shakespearean drama, which simply mean the dramas which were written by Shakespeare. Similarly, Senecan tragedies are those tragedies which were written by Seneca. So the question comes to all of us, who was Seneca? Seneca was a 1st century Roman philosopher, writer, and historian. He wrote on the contemporary topic and, of course, on the Greek and religious mythological topic. He wrote merely about 10 tragedies, though there are some critics who often show their dispute that Seneca wrote merely about 7 tragedies. So, whatever may the dispute, whatever may be the contention, we must have to remember that Seneca's dramas were in fact quite influenced by Aeschylus and Sophocles, the two great classical writers. The year 1581 is to be remembered here because it is Thomas Newton who brought together all the translations of Senecan tragedies into one and published a book, and the title of the book is Seneca, his 10 tragedies. And here we find the clear illustration of all the tragedies of Seneca. The Senecan dramas or tragedies were so much popular that it went on performing on stage till 15th century. If we look into the main characteristic of this drama, main characteristics of the tragedies, we see that the use of chorus, the use of supernatural element such as witchcraft, the frequent appearance of ghost, bloodshed, the exploration of the emotion, the use of monologue, and even the psychological crisis, etc., are the main characteristic features of Senecan drama. And fortunately, it is the Italian humanist who discovered those tragedies in the 14th century. So, who were the Italian humanists? Actually, we all know that in Italy there appeared the Renaissance. So, the first light of Renaissance came from Italy, and it is the Italian humanist. Actually, in those times, humanist refers to the students, the researchers, or the teachers who merely tried to revive the ancient religious fervor. That means that they always try to disseminate the religion among the common people, and they ransomed in various scriptures, various books to find out a moral lesson that evil should be punished. In the ambition of finding something new, something religious, they found out the dramas of Seneca. And fortunately, in the dramas of Seneca, we also find a moral lesson. The lesson always tells that emotion is always destructive and we need to control our emotion. Later, we find that many other writers also used the same tradition of Seneca. Interesting fact is that the first tragedy, the Gorboduc, written by Thomas Norton and Sackville, this book is, of course, has all the characteristic features of Seneca. So, therefore, many critics often suggest that the Gorboduc was very much influenced by Seneca. Later, we find Thomas Kidd was also influenced by Seneca. He produced the Spanish tragedy. Even Shakespeare was also influenced by this tragedy. So therefore, in the latter period, in the 17th century, we find that the dramas of Shakespeare were given a new term, that is revenge tragedy. In Seneca, we find that a person who does something evil and he gets punishment. That means that someone takes revenge on the wicked person. Here in Shakespeare, we find the same thing. Here we find the same reverberation, the same reflection of the idea that something is done by a person and which is not at all acceptable, which is illegal, which is at all not acceptable as per our humanity. So therefore, someone takes revenge on that person. For example, you can look into Macbeth. There you will find that the Macbeth commits crime, he kills Duncan. Finally, he gets his reward in the form of killing. That means that someone kills him. So this is the revenge tragedy. Here in Seneca, we also find such type of element. Interestingly, our modern critic T.S. Eliot once said, while analyzing the works of Shakespeare, he clearly said that Shakespearean tragedies are nothing but penetration into Senecan tradition.